This Porsche 911 was in a really bad state. Was it worth saving? Well, I gave it a go. It needed 3 new cylinder liners fitting, and also we found, after stripping it down, the crank had picked up and one of the bearings, so that needed to be replaced as well. And on top of that, look at the state of it. I mean, there's the lacquer's cracked, the headlights are that faded, so you can't get light through them. It scratched, the lacquer's coming off it, the mirrors have fell off, and it's got that green interior. Oh. So I now all rebuilt, started putting the engine in, bolted it all up, and then while I was connecting bits up to the gearbox, I was putting the gear selector in, and yeah, that happened. The bracket snapped, cast iron bracket, sorry, cast aluminium bracket. Couldn't get the bolts out, the tool even snapped, so that's when I got to work with grinding tools, with, as you can see, a torch, heating them up. Yeah, just wouldn't come out. I had to grind them out in the end. Some of them, after a bit of heating and grinding, I was able to unscrew with a chisel. Some of them I had to just grind the heads off completely before I could get this cast alloy bracket off, which also holds, as you can see, the oil cooler for the gearbox. So yeah, I've got to be quite careful with this. Do I get a new one? Can I get this repaired? Can I weld it? Some people suggested try some GB Weld. I thought about it, but yeah, this holds the gear selector, so I think my best bet is to see if I can get it welded. If not, it's a couple of £100 for a new cast bracket. I have to remember I had to drop the engine and gearbox out of the car again in order to get to these bolts, to grind them and chisel them out. Right, that's the bracket off. I'm going to separate the cooler from the bracket, give it a clean up. Okay, I've poured some PE degreaser in there, and I'm just going to give it a vigorous scrubbing with a nylon brush, and that should get it clean enough, hopefully. Okay, so here's the bracket, and I was able to weld it. I weren't sure whether the wood, because it depends on the quality of the aluminium, whether it's weldable or not. Fortunately, as this has got some oil-wise, pipe-wise going into it, hopefully it was a good enough quality because it didn't board. It was. They were able to weld it. It's strong enough. Let's get it back on the car. But first, let's clean up the oil cooler before we bolt this back onto the bracket with new oil O-rings and some new bolts. I've still got that bolt stuck in there. I ground the head off to get the bracket out, so, but because there's plenty to get on there now, a pair of mole grips, hopefully I can get this out. Sped up a bit so it looks easier than it was, but yeah, you can't now. Okay, so yeah, we'll slide the oil pipes in at the top there, put some new bolts in. 3 of them in total, one at the top, one at the bottom, one at the side. Then we'll have a bracket that secures them oil pipes, just goes over the top there, and one screw, and that holds the oil pipes in place. Okay, so let's just hope when we connect the gear selector in again, that bracket doesn't break again. We're going to get the engine in, and let's see. Okay, I'm going to spray all these electrical connectors on the gearbox, the selector, etc. With some electrical contact cleaner before I put them back on this time. I have seen problems with the multi-switch on these and you sort of get it flashing in between park and forth. It just flashes between the two. That basically shows it's like an engine light. It shows that the gearbox is in limp mode. So yeah, best give it a clean before we put it all together. And here we go. Let's get the engine and box back into the car for the second time. We just got to make sure that we're not going to trap any wires, all the hoses are routed in the right place, etc. You know. Okay, and once it's in, we're going to get all the hoses connected, get all end clamps on. There you go, one there connected at the bottom. There's the broken bracket, and there is the gear selector. Let's see if it slides in without braking again. Yeah, it looks like it's in. It looks like it's secured. It's not broken. Yeah, thank God for that. Okay, right, I'm going to get the other bits underneath the car fitted. There's a couple of brackets. So there's the crossbar that goes in place. Then there's a couple of brackets come away from that either side. And of course, there's the anti-roll bar needs to go on. So I'm going to speed up the video and let you watch that. And slots. Mustn't forget to connect up the engine nerve strap while we're here, otherwise we won't be starting the car. And of course we're going to get thread locker back onto these bolts as well. Okay, I'm just going to bolt the coolant pipes that go into the bottom of that oil cooler back up to the bottom of the gearbox. And there was also a bracket, much like the one for the oil lines, that went into the bottom of that held the coolant lines into the bottom of that cooler as well. Get the bracket. Okay, now we've got to get the drive shafts bolted back up to the gearbox. Obviously, both sides. And of course in a crisscross pattern, much like you put a wheel on or bolt a head off or something like that to make sure it pulls in evenly. It supports the cats is broken at one end, so I'm going to replace that. And, there we have the broken piece. Yeah. And of course a couple of new clamps because I had to break the old ones off. For the silencers, there's one each side. These just slide in and slot onto the bracket, drop a couple of bolts in. Right, now I've got to get the new serpentine belt on. This was really tight. I've got the 24-inch socket onto the tensioner, and with the tensioner, well, I should be able to just push that on, but could not do it. It took a bit of fiddling with a couple of pry bars, but you know, eventually it went on. And there we go, that is fitted. Right, now I need to get the power steering reservoir tank screwed back onto the top. Just slots in, twists on, and then there's a screw at the top there and a breather hose. Now let's get these electrical connectors. There's two that screw into the right hand bar. You can tell which one's which. One's got a white circle on it and says the receptacle. There's a couple of dots on the side of these as well, which correspond to a couple of dots on the side of the receptacles, which show you basically where to fit them and screw them in. Although it's a bit dark in there, difficult to see, but I was able to do that no problem. Okay, now for the manifold plenum and the throttle body. I took the throttle body off so I could get my fingers in there and push the rubbers that hold the plenum in place. Basically slotted it onto the right, pushed it on the side, and just used my fingers to manipulate them rubbers a bit. Tightened up them brackets and we're good to go. And now we can fit the throttle body. That just slots on. There's four bolts to screw in. In fact, the one bolt at the bottom left should have a small bracket that also bolts on to the power steering housing. I've not got that bracket at the moment, but I will order one. We don't need it for the moment to get the car ready now. Right, okay, now I'm going to connect up the O2 sensors. There's one on each side, one for each cat. That just plugs in there and slots into a little receptacle there. Same thing on this side. Now that clip's a bit tight. Just a little bit of a screwdriver to help me lift it open. Right, then you just place them together, push it shut, and just clip it into its little clip. Okay, so now it's the airbox. There we go, it's been wrapped up for a while. There's the airbox. Drop that in there, connect up the throttle body, and plug in the MAF sensor as well. Okay, moment of truth. Is this going to run after all that rebuild? Okay, so I've charged up a battery, not a good battery, but it holds a charge for a little bit. It's got 13 plus volts. Let's try it again. Okay, it sounds like this battery is just not good enough. Okay, so the battery's fully charged. It's not a good battery, but it's fully charged. It doesn't hold the charge, but it should get the car started. Let's give it a go. Okay, lights are on. We've got power. Ignition's on. We're in park. And absolutely nothing. Oh. Ooh. Sounds like we've got a misfire. Okay, so we've got a misfire. It's got new plugs and it's got new coils on as well. So yeah, it could be something like bad fuel. So I'm gonna get a new filter. We'll change the fuel out. It could be something like a sensor as well. So we'll check them over. I'll get the tester on it and see what codes we get. But yeah, for the next video, hopefully it will be running really nicely.